Today we're going to take a look at two automotive detailing products made by the Tutuluk company. First is their swivel gun, reminiscent of the MTM Hydro Aqualine SGS-35, which is sold for 3 times the price of the Tutuluk version. And then we have an old school foam cannon, which I'll go over the reasons why I chose to look into this one. So let's do an unboxing and go over all the details. We have a set of 5 stainless steel quick connect nozzles in all of the most common spray pattern sizes. They appear to be a 3.5 orifice nozzle size, which is going to be perfect for the setup that I'm running. So here you have 25, which is the degree, and 0.35, which is the 3.5 orifice nozzle. This is going to be perfect for the Active 2.0 setup. The reason being that Active 2.0 comes standard with the 3.7 orifice nozzle size. In order to have the best usage for automotive detailing, we like to upgrade that to 4.0. And I have the protective nozzles in the 4.0 nozzle size. You can see them here. This is the essential washer 40 degree, and this is your ridge washer 25 degree. Protective nozzles in the 4.0 nozzle orifice. This will give you the desired 1000 psi pressure and the maximum gallons per minute flow. So why are we looking at these 3.5 then and saying that they're a good idea? Well, 3.5 is the smallest orifice size that you can go with the Active 2.0. That will increase the pressure at the same time as slightly lowering the GPM. Now, this is a $20 set alone. This would be great for household use, for washing your sidewalks, your driveways, your patio furniture, your barbecue, and so on, where you want slightly more pressure. Continuing on, what comes in the package. So you get an extra foam generator. This is going to be what they call 100 filtration accuracy stainless steel foam maker mesh. They have one pre-installed and one extra. You also get an O-ring gasket for your 1/4 inch quick connect replacement. Looking at the body, very nice, very lightweight, brass construction, O-ring type 1/4 inch quick connect, dilution knob at the top, fan spray width 0 to 60 degree, good amount of tension on there. And then you have your horizontal and vertical pattern adjustment, and that is 360 degree. Moving on to the bottle, you have a silicone type tube with weighted filter. Decent. And the old school narrow type bottle. Why I chose this foam cannon is, first of all, because of price. This is the lowest price foam cannon you will currently find on Amazon at $14. Not $14.99. We mean a $14 flat. Now, you might have watched my previous review of the Essential Washer heavy duty foam cannon. This is a foam cannon in which I've dedicated its use towards P&S Brake Buster wheel cleaner. And therefore you can fill it up with non-diluted product, leave it in there all the time, and get approximately 6 washes in order to do all 4 wheels and tires as well as wheel wells. I wanted to try the Tutuluk foam cannon to use for a dedicated foaming APC by Image Wash Products. I really like this foaming APC, and I'd like to have it in a dedicated foam cannon. Don't want to spend too much money because I have a lot of foam cannons already, and I feel this would be a good complement to the Essential Washer for all my wheel cleaning and tire needs. The Tutuluk foam cannon is durable polyethylene construction. You can see down here PEHD. 1000 milliliter bottle. with markings in 100 milliliter increments. The body again is very lightweight. I'm not so sure that I would say that this is brass, or maybe it's plated aluminum, but it is lightweight, which will make the cannon a little bit more stable. 1.2 millimeter orifice pre-installed for broad compatibility. Whether you're using a low GPM or high GPM pressure washer, you're right there in between your 1.1 and 1.15 and then your 1.25, so you're right in the middle range there. Adjustable knob for foam concentration and density. This would be your spray angle, horizontal or vertical, and your spray width from 0 to 60 degrees. Five quick connect nozzles in your 3.5 orifice size. Extra foam generator, extra O-ring, weighted silicone tube. So let's put that together. Pop your silicone tube on there. You do have your metal threads on your plastic threads, so be careful when tightening not to cross thread. Label does not line up in the center like we would prefer it, but it appears to be removable. Comes with a 50 milliliter beaker in 5 milliliter increments for measuring out your soap concentration. Let's take a look at what you get with the Tutuluk swivel gun. Short pressure washer gun with swivel. This is how it's packaged, very nicely in foam. First thing you get here is your protective guard nozzle, 25-degree angle. Unfortunately, that's a 3.0 orifice, which is slightly too small for me to use with my active 2.0 setup. The lowest you would want to go there is a 3.5. Otherwise, you're increasing the pressure to a little bit too high of a level and you're going to draw too many amps. But this would be good for your lower GPM models. We have the swivel gun itself. Nice fluid swivel there, built up into the handle as much as possible. Stainless steel construction, standard quick connect. For those of you that need to connect to an M22 on your hose, you would have the brass quick connect to M22. For those of you that need to go to the less of a standard of 15 millimeter, they do give you this adapter to go from 14 to 15 millimeter. Okay, we won't need either one of those. So this gun, 4,080 psi, 12 US gallons per minute, 160 degrees Celsius to 320 degrees Fahrenheit. Nice 1/4 inch stainless steel quick connect. No exposed threads, although you do have a little bit of brass showing there, which is unfortunate. This guard is a little bit thicker than I would like to see here. This is reminiscent of the MTM Aqualine. Same color blue, same overall design, 1/3 the price. Easy trigger pull. We're going to be testing that. Very nice. No play in it at all. Quick comparison between the Tutuluk on the right and the Essential Washer shortgun on the left. Up until now, the Essential Washer has been my favorite gun. I do like the darker blue color of the Essential Washer. I also like the compactness of the Essential Washer. You can see the guard is much more in, much narrower front view. You can see the all stainless steel construction on the Essential Washer, whereas you have a little bit of exposed brass. You do have some exposed couple threads on the Essential Washer 1/4 inch quick connect. You do have a much bulkier swivel mechanism on the Essential Washer, and you do have the 1/4 inch quick connect that you have to install yourself, rather than the one-piece swivel and quick connect that's built up into the body and is one piece. Wow, you can definitely feel the difference in the tension there. This is hard to turn with one hand, whereas this is just very, very fluid. Weight-wise, Tutuluk I would say is slightly less heavy, although it does feel bulkier in the hand. The trigger mechanism feels very nice, whereas on the essential washer, just a different feel. This is very responsive, probably because it's new. The spring kicks back very well, whereas this, the spring release, has a little less tension, although the pull on the Tutuluk is much lighter. Overall, the Tutuluk looks like a much larger gun. Let's see how it works. Let's see if we can take this gun apart and look at the internals. Okay, looking at the internals on the Tutuluk swivel gun, we have for the most part stainless steel construction. We do have a main brass body, as is typical with these guns, especially in this price range. Again, trigger mechanism, built-in swivel high up into the body. So far, very nice. Okay, let's take a look at the swivel mechanism. The water is on, the pressure washer is off. Very fluid. Very easy to move around. Let's turn on the pressure washer. Pressure washer on. Wow, it's exactly the same. I mean, look at the movement on this. Awesome. Looking at the Tutuluk foam cannon, the first thing I like to do with all my foam cannon reviews is to test out the native dilution ratio. So to start out by doing that, we first fill up the cannon with 500 milliliters of water and check the markings to see how accurate they are, and then we'll move on to the 1000 milliliter level. It does have a narrow opening, old school type opening on the bottle. Okay, for our purpose, and the reason for purchasing this cannon is for a dedicated foaming APC cleaner. That's going to be a non-issue because we will fill the cannon once with 1000 milliliters of product, and we will get up to 6 complete washes with that amount of product, eliminating the constant need to do filling. So here we go. We have 500 is here. We're about 1/8 of an inch over the marking, so not too bad. Let's get the other 500 milliliters. There's our second round of 500 milliliters. Let's see how close to 1000 we come. Then what we're going to do, we're going to shoot the 1000 into a bucket and measure the total output, thereby calculating our native dilution ratio. Damn. Alright, so 1000 is well over the top. We're going to have to spill some out. Okay. Spilt out about 25. We still got too much in the bottle. Okay, there we go. That's as close as we could get to 1000. Probably about 950, but we're completely full on the bottle at this point. Okay, I cut the draw tube down by 1/8 of an inch to get the filter pickup to be at the lower corner there. We're going to shoot this into the bucket and measure the total output. (1 minute and 40 runtime). Okay, so runtime was 1 minute and 40 seconds. Let's weigh the output. $11 kilograms less the 1 kilogram bucket weight, giving us 10,000 milliliters of output, since 1 milliliter equals 1 gram. Okay, we have the Tutuluk foam cannon here running the factory 1.2 millimeter orifice. Let's do a test and see what pressure it runs at. So we're getting about 1,050 pressure. Right in line with what one would expect running a 1.25 millimeter orifice. While we're here taking a look at some pressure readings, let's do pressure readings on 3 nozzles. So this is the active 2.0 factory nozzle. It's a 40 degree 037, so 3.7 millimeter orifice. About 850 psi. Let's change that over to a 4.0 protective nozzle made by Essential Washer. 4.0 orifice, 40 degree angle. About the same 850 to 875. So slightly higher flow, about similar pressure. And what I wanted to look at was the included nozzles with the Tutuluk swivel gun, which is a 40 degree 035. So 3.5 nozzle. Let's get that to seat in there. Okay, there we go. About 1,000 psi, just a hair under 1,000. So there you can see the differences of the nozzles. We'll be able to utilize all 3 for our purposes. What did we learn from all that testing? Okay, Tutuluk with a 1.2 millimeter factory orifice. The runtime was 1 minute and 40 seconds till empty, starting out with 1,000 milliliters. The pressure was 1,050 psi. So those numbers are in line with our other foam cannons that we have tested in the past. We output a total of 10,000 milliliters, giving us a 1:9 dilution ratio. Therefore, if we want a target PIR, or panel impact ratio, to be 0.5% for pH neutral type washing, we would need to put in, for 1,000 milliliter load, would be 50 milliliters of soap, the rest water. What we're going to do now, just to test the cannon on one side of the body to see the foam output, we'll load that with 25 milliliters of soap and 475 milliliters of water, totaling to 500 in the bottle. Again, that's 0.5% of PIR. My purpose for purchasing this cannon is to use it with the Image Wash products all-purpose degreaser, or their foaming APC product. Now, having a 1:10 dilution ratio native in the cannon would be ideal. This is 1:9, so that's right there in the range of what you want to see for a dedicated tire and wheel cleaner. So first, let's go in with our Mr. Pink. We'll try it out as a traditional pH neutral foam cannon wash, and then we'll test it with the all-purpose cleaner. So I got the 25 milliliters here. The Adams screw-on funnel doesn't exactly fit the threads. We'll try to use it a little bit for the foaming APC when we need to fill the entire cannon up to the top. But for this purpose, we'll just hand load it. I'll try to wash out some of the soap to get all of the product into our test. I got the 475 milliliters of water, totaling to 500. Again, 0.5% of PIR, panel impact ratio. This way we're keeping all of our foam cannon tests across the channel on a consistent soap output basis. Alright, so the markings, just about 500, not too bad. I did cut the straw by 1/8 of an inch to get it to sit there in the corner. Always stir your product a little bit so that the tube doesn't move around much, but it will pick up down to the bottom where it's located. Let's give it a shot. Tutuluk foam cannon attached to the Tutuluk swivel shotgun, 1.2 millimeter factory installed orifice, running via a active 2.0 pressure washer. Let's check the foam output. Very nice output. I'm not surprised because I was using a very similar cannon made by Essential Washer. That's the reason why I purchased this one. So you can see nice sticky foam. Dimpling up here on the windows. We did the traditional 2 passes that we do for our testing. It's sticking quite well to the body, as you can see, minimal amounts dripping off at the current time. We're about 30 seconds into the test here. Nice thick foam, even coverage. Starting to get runoff of the body. There we go. Very nice. This would work excellent as a very budget level foam cannon, and we'll see how it works with the foaming APC for wheel and tire use. Let's rinse this off. We're a couple minutes in at this point and you can still see there's full coverage. That test went really well. So for normal pH neutral washing for $14, this cannon produces thick quality levels of foam. You can't really go wrong. Now, it's an old school cannon, it's top heavy, it has the large narrow bottle. If you want to spend more money, you'll get a more modern cannon, but if you want something that's in the low budget end range, this is a really good choice. Again, for my purpose, I'm using it for the foaming all-purpose degreaser, specifically so that I can keep the cannon loaded at all times with non-diluted product for wheel and tire cleaning. That's the test that we're going to do now. So let's try to fill this up with product. Okay, that's plenty. Probably too much. Good thing we only have to do this once every 6 washes. I'm estimating about 150 milliliters of product to be used for 4 wheels, tires, and wheel wells. Most importantly, let's see how it works. Tutuluk foam cannon loaded with pure image wash foaming APC non-diluted. Alright, let's test out how this foam cannon works. It's diluting natively 1 to 9. There it is. That's the intention. Nice thick quality foam that can then be worked in with your barrel brush, your tire scrubbing brush, your wheel mitt, and so on. A lot better than spraying it on manually with a normal traditional sprayer, maybe diluted, 1 to 4. You're going to use a lot less product like this. You're going to get longer dwell time. You can keep the product fully loaded in this budget-priced cannon at all times, and you'll get approximately 6 full washes of a set of 4 tires and wheel wells. If you're interested in this foaming APC product, please check out my Image Wash Products full line test. We do have a dedicated page on that as well. Alright, that concludes our test of the Tutuluk detailing products. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it a little bit helpful. Just to wrap this one up, we started out by testing the Tutuluk short swivel gun. Again, this is reminiscent of the MTM SGS 35 Aqualine product. I've been using this for my last 4 washes, so I can tell you that the swivel works great for keeping my long MTM Cobra Jet hose, which is a little bit heavier than usual, being a steel braided 3/8 of an inch hose, keeps it tangle free as you're moving around the larger 4Runner vehicle. I like the fact that the swivel is very fluid. I like the fact that it's up into the body and built in, and that this is all one piece, the Quick Connect. I like the compactness of the Quick Connect up here, very compact. I would like to see the brass be at least nickel plated, maybe in a future iteration. I think it feels very, very good in the hand. It's very lightweight. The trigger pull is very light, almost too light, whereas while changing nozzles in the garage once or twice, I've had it accidentally spray. That's how light it is. I would like to see the front of the body a little bit narrower, and I would like to see the guard here a little bit in more, just to make it compact. That would be perfect, but as it is now, this is a great value for what it is. It's 1/3 the price of the MTM. Excellent value. On the foam cannon, excellent value at $14. You can see, even though it's old school, traditional style, it's quite stable because of the lightweight head, even with the narrow body. Again, my purpose is for a dedicated foam cannon to keep product in there at 100%, non-diluted. I think this would be good for somebody looking for a dedicated touchless cannon. So for example, if you use touchless part 1, which is acidic, and touchless part 2, which is alkaline product by Image Wash, this would be great cannons for that. Leave your product in there all the time. It worked very good as a pH neutral wash as well, producing nice thick foam. I'll probably take the label off and buy an OG label that says APC, and I'll put that over here so that it matches my other foam cannons. Overall, I can definitely recommend these products for somebody looking for a budget, yet very high quality line of products. Thanks again. Please check out our dedicated webpage for Tutuluk products, where you'll find more features, benefits, and tech specs. And also I'll be adding any long-term thoughts or findings, so check back often. Thanks again, and take care.